Welcome to Land to House. This is the MacFox X1 e-bike. This e-bike has a 500 watt 48 volt hub motor. It's got a full large seat for comfort. It's got a headlight. It's got a motorcycle style acceleration. It's got a LCD screen. It's got a kickstand, and it has a max range of 40 miles at full speed. This does not have gears, but it will definitely allow you to pedal assist and get this bike going. Let's go ahead and talk about this bike and then take it out for a test drive. This bike arrived in a large box that had a good bit of foam inside. However, there were still a few bumps and scratches on the bike. Just cosmetic, nothing that's going to cause this bike not to function properly. The contents of the box includes the bicycle. It has the front tire. There is a user manual, a bag full of hardware. You've got both of the pedals. There is a kickstand. There's a nice big front light. There's a charger and a wrench as well. The first step that I'm going to do in assembly is to install the kickstand. Now, this kit does come with lots of Allen wrenches. Sadly, there's not one that fits the bolts here for the kickstand, so I had to use my own. In order to get this installed, I'm simply going to slide this onto this metal bracket that is welded to the frame, and then I can just use these bolts here to attach this and make sure it's nice and tight. This bike is shipped with a bar that goes across the front wheel, and you just have to unscrew that and take that off. You can throw it away or save it for some other project. Now, if that is too tight, you can use the little wrench that's included and remove that. So after this has been done, we can go ahead and put the front tire on. The tire is shipped with these rubber stoppers that will need to be removed. There's one on each side. So go ahead and get those undone, just like that. You can set those aside. Now the disc brake needs to go into the disc over here. So let's go ahead and flip this around, and then I can go ahead and get this turned and into position. In order to attach the wheel to the frame, you're going to use these little metal pieces, which will fit on here first, and there is a tab that locks into the frame, and then you use a nut and you're going to tighten that down to make sure it locks into position. There's one of those on both sides. Now you can certainly use the included wrench, but I find that a socket set is going to make this task a whole lot easier. Now to get the handlebars on, there are included brackets that look like this. One of them goes on the bottom and has a flat piece. The other one goes on the top and is curved. And there are also some locking washers that will go inside of there to allow that bolt not to come out of there. So I'm going to take the flat one and place it on here first. And there are two of those. And then I'm going to take the handlebar and I'm going to turn that up here so that it will fall into position. Next, I can take a bolt and one of the top pieces and fit that in here and begin tightening down using an Allen wrench. In order to get the pedals installed, you'll notice that one side has an R and the other side has an L. That's right and left. So for the right side, it's more of your traditional righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, but on the other side it is reversed. So keep that in mind, that it's going to be threaded in the opposite direction. But for this one, it's just a matter of simply spinning it on until it gets tight, and then I've got this wrench here that I can use to get that all the way snugged up. Now my bike did come with a light, and I installed that without you, but it has rubber pieces that go here on the inside of this clamp. And then it's got rubber right here as well to keep that from bouncing around. And then I simply just attached the cable back here and it is good to go. All right, our next step is to begin charging this bike. I let the battery sit on the charger and it is now at 100%. Let me get this reattached here. Go ahead and use the key to lock this in place. There we go, should be good. I forgot to mention before that MacFox sent over their little storage bag, and this goes right here in the front to allow you to kind of store whatever you need to in there. So it just has a little bag with some hardware, and on the inside it's got some screws, and that's what goes right here and here. So I'm just going to install that real quick, and we will get on the road and see how well this bike drives. Okay, the bag is now firmly installed. I think I'm going to save my keys in there for now. Might be a fun place to keep those stored. Time to take this bicycle for a test ride. Now this does have a motorcycle style throttle, so you move your wrist back to get this to go. And the brakes, of course, are just like a typical bicycle brake. So let's go ahead and do a test ride here. So the first thing you'll note is there are no shocks on this bicycle. So when you hit a bump, the seat is essentially going to be your cushion versus having some springs in there to reduce that. Now I'm 5'11" or 5'10", depending on the day, and I'm finding that I have to sit pretty far back here on the seat in order to be at the right height for these pedals. So I guess the seat kind of gives you that adjustment. If you move up some, you will be able to be a little shorter. But I think honestly, if you were, say, 5'8", 5'9", this would be even more comfortable. So for a taller person, maybe not so much. All right, so let's go ahead and give this a test. First thing I want to do is turn on the battery. I'm just going to click the switch down here, and that will turn everything on. Then I can move up here to the control on the handlebars and hold down the power button here. Everything will turn on. There we go. We've got 0. And I've already taken this on 0.6 miles without you, just for a little test ride. All right, I'm going to swap you over to the GoPro real quick, and we will ride around, and then we'll come back and talk about what we like about this bicycle. Okay, let's see what we think about this bicycle. Hopefully you can hear me all right. So I'm going to start off by just pedaling, and as you'll notice, there are no gears on this bike, so it is a straight drive. But if I begin pedaling here, well, got up to about 14 miles per hour there. So right now I'm just pedaling and nothing's happening because I got to push the positive button over here. Ugh. Let's see what we get here. Let's go to high. Now notice how high my leg is here. That is way too high for my height. So that's what I was saying about you having to be a little bit shorter to ride this bicycle. Ugh. All right, so pedal assist, you have to be turning this. All right, there we go. So I'm only using the throttle over here. I'm not using my legs at all. This will be a good test of the pedal assist here as I go up this hill. Without gears, this is actually not very easy. Looks like we're maintaining about 6 or 7 miles per hour, and I am pedaling pretty hard here. It's making it. It's just not easy. Made it. I put several miles on the MacFox E Bike for dirt roads, gravel roads, and paved roads. I also went up some pretty steep hills and did a lot of flat road biking. And so far, I have enjoyed the bike. It has a few things that I am not used to, such as a long seat that is not adjustable. It's got the motorcycle style throttle, which I'm not used to, and definitely is a little bit less adjustable in height than I would like to see. However, the bike was a lot of fun. So whenever I was on flat roads, and especially on road biking, it was great. The throttle was very responsive, and the pedal assist was also quite helpful. I find myself actually using just the throttle more than the pedal assist, but either way was fine. Now when it comes to gravel roads, the 4-inch fat tires was definitely helpful to get this to have lots of traction and give you a little bit of shock absorption. Now on dirt roads, it was, I guess, an okay experience. It was not quite as fun as the gravel or the road because it was bumpy. This does not have any shocks, so you have to rely on the tires. I found myself lifting up off the seat whenever I would hit a bump in order not to feel that bump whenever I'm riding. Like I said, whenever I was riding on flat roads, the throttle was very responsive and had plenty of get up and go. I think the fastest I ever saw was about 25 miles per hour. However, going up some steep hills, I would be pedaling pretty strong, and it would still struggle because there are no gears to shift on this bicycle. So basically, it's just a straight drive, and you have to rely a lot on the throttle to get you up hills. So keep that in mind, that it's great for small inclines, but not for tackling those really big hills. To go over the bicycle, the seat was nice and comfortable. You could easily slide from the front to the back to semi-adjust your pedaling angle. As far as handlebar comfort goes, you don't have a whole lot of space outside of the handles to put your hands, but that's fine. The handles were comfortable, the brakes were easy to access. Now I will say the motorcycle style throttle was something I'm not really used to. I kind of like the thumb throttle over the motorcycle style throttle. As far as the display goes, it's easy to work with. The positive and negative buttons just scroll through low, medium, and high. In order to turn on the light, there's just a single button press on the left-hand side, and that's very easy to access. It's not in the way. Assembling the MacFox E Bike was a bit of a challenge. The instructions are okay on some steps, but the other steps that it leaves out, you're basically just guessing where the screws go and direction of components. So definitely keep that in mind. It can be a bit of a challenge to figure out what those instructions are trying to say. The battery charged no problem. I left it plugged up overnight and had no issues. The first thing I installed whenever I put this bike together was the kickstand, and that allows you to simply let the bike sit up while you're working on it. As far as storage compartment goes, this little bag that was included is nice to be able to put things in. It's not big enough for a water bottle, but it is big enough to hold wallet and keys and that kind of thing. The grip and comfort of the handlebars is nice. The brakes were very responsive. There are no shocks, but the tires and the seat did a pretty good job at padding, which was nice. I find myself using this back handle all the time to push the bike upstairs, and it's just nice to have that little extra feature back here. There are no fenders included with the model that I got, and that would have been really nice because I kicked up a lot of mud that hit me in the back. But as the seat does catch some of that as you're riding. All in all, I think the bike is fun and is definitely ideal for somebody who is a little bit on the shorter side. I'm about 5'11", and I found my knees were just a little bit higher than I would like. Scooting back on the seat definitely seemed to remedy that. But if you're, I guess, 5 foot to 5'6", this is probably a great bicycle for you. If you'd like to learn more about the MacFox E Bike, I will have a link in the description down below. Thanks for watching. I'm Seth with Land to House, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.